Everyone's heard of Jadde, Edina, and Minnetonka, but what about the suburbs that people are sleeping on? In today's video, I'm breaking down some of the most underrated suburbs in the Twin Cities metros. Suburbs that don't always get the spotlight, but might just be exactly what you are looking for. And make sure to stick around as we're really gonna switch things up towards the end and cover a few St. Paul suburbs. I'm Jade with Living Minneapolis Suburbs, a top producing real estate agent here in Minnesota. I specialize in the suburbs of Hennepin, Carver, Anoka, Wright, and Scott counties. My team is currently ranked number 3 in the state with over 2,000 homes sold and more than 900 million in total volume. If you're thinking about buying or selling in the Minneapolis suburbs, this is one video you won't want to miss. Let's first talk about Champlin, one of the most underrated suburbs in the entire West Metro. It often gets overlooked because it's sandwiched between bigger cities like Maple Grove and Brooklyn Park. But once you dig in, there's a lot to love here. It's quiet, community focused, and more affordable than many of its neighboring suburbs. One of the biggest perks, location. Champlin borders Elm Creek Park Reserve, which is hands down one of the best outdoor spaces in the entire metro. We're talking 4,900 plus acres of trails, swimming, cross-country skiing, and mountain biking, all just minutes from your front door. It's like having a nature escape built into your backyard. The other awesome thing about Champlin, it's right on the Mississippi River. There are beautiful walking trails right on the river to explore, and a new restaurant that will be right on the river as well. It's called Char Blue Riverside, which many residents in and around the area are excited for. The other massive win for Champlin's location is how centrally located it is in the North Metro. Being just 30 minutes north of Minneapolis makes it easy to commute into downtown Minneapolis. If you are a couple and one person maybe works on the East Metro on the east side of the Mississippi and the other more on the West Metro, Champlin could be perfect for you. I actually worked with a couple recently where one person worked around the Coon Rapids area and the other in Maple Grove. So they chose Champlin as a great location for them as it was in the middle for their commutes to and from work. In terms of housing, the average home price sits around $350,000, which is a sweet spot for a lot of buyers, especially first-timers or families upsizing from the city or their first home. Most homes in Champlin were built in the late 80s, maybe 90s, so you're getting larger floor plans, attached garages, and modern layouts without dealing with the quirks of older Minneapolis construction like knob and tube wiring or awkward kind of additions. These homes are often move-in ready with room to personalize over time. Here is a recent home I helped some clients actually buy in Champlin. They upsized into this home to make room for their growing family. It was a 5-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 3-stall garage, 90s build, and a large lot in a quiet cul-de-sac neighborhood. And we were able to get this home all for only $438,000. And plus, we got the sellers to actually pay for their closing costs. So it was a win-win for both the buyer and the seller as they were able to get successfully to closing. Schools are another bright spot. Champlin is served by the Anoka Hennepin School District, and Champlin Park High School currently has an A- rating on niche.com with strong extracurriculars and a wide variety of academic programs. For families looking to balance affordability with educational quality, that's a huge win for Champlin. The only real negative that I have about living in Champlin is going to be Highway 169 that basically runs directly through the city and can be very frustrating road to drive on at times. It can be super busy and make that quick commute to Target or Aldi an extra 15 minutes if you don't hit the lights correctly. Not the end of the world, but can be annoying for sure. Secondly, let's talk about Dayton. Dayton is one of those suburbs that's blowing up super quietly, but quickly. 5 years ago, hardly anyone was talking about it. Now it's one of the fastest growing spots in the Northwest Metro and really entire state. And buyers are paying attention to that, especially those who feel priced out of places like Maple Grove or Plymouth. What's the appeal of Dayton though? Well, it's new construction, space, and location. Dayton is still developing, so you're seeing brand new homes with modern floor plans, turnkey kitchens, and bathrooms, and often at a lower price per square foot compared to neighboring suburbs like Maple Grove and Champlin. Whether you're looking for a 2-story with a finished basement or a 1-level villa-style home, there's really a ton of variety. And many of the developments are backed by well-known builders like Lennar, D.R. Horton, and M.I. Homes. There's even townhome opportunities as well within these new construction communities. And the one thing to note is that many of these homes do have backyards, but these homes don't always feel very private as they're tightly packed into the community, and a large yard space can be really hard to come by. And it's not just about the houses. Dayton has natural beauty that a lot of buyers don't expect. You're right by the Mississippi River with access to scenic overlooks and waterfront trails. Plus, just like Champlin, Elm Creek Park Reserve is minutes away for biking, hiking, and cross-country skiing. For anyone who values outdoor space but doesn't want to be way out there in the boonies, it's an ideal balance. And for commuting purposes, you're looking at about a 30-minute drive to downtown Minneapolis, depending on where you're starting from in Dayton. And with Highway 610 expanding westward, connectivity is only improving, making Dayton more accessible for work, shopping, and really dining in the entire Northwest Metro. If you're not into new construction, Dayton also has some older homes with acreage that have been there a while. Not crazy old, but some have been updated and some have not, but they are larger homes and larger lots with sheds or outbuildings on them if that's what you desire. And trust me, a lot of these are super cool. You got ones that got 2 acres, you have one that has 6 acres, and they're just really cool, well-built homes. So if new construction is not what you're really into, definitely check out Dayton if you're wanting more of that, private feel with some more acreage and a larger home on a larger lot. Most of Dayton is in the Anoka Hennepin School District, while some pockets are in the Osseo Public School District. If you're considering Dayton, I would pay very close attention to the school boundary lines if you have a preference for schools. And I'm always happy to help with that, as it's something I commonly do for my clients. Dayton can be very tricky when you're looking at school districts. Some can be in Champlin, some can be in Osseo, some can be in Maple Grove High School. So again, make sure that you do pay attention to that and reach out if you have any questions. The bottom line for Dayton is that it offers space, value, and that newness that so many buyers are looking for without the hefty price tag of more established suburbs. And most of the time, these new builds don't go into multiple offers, so that's a win as well, because you're not really battling with other buyers and paying way over the asking price, which so many people are trying to avoid. You may have to make a quick decision as there are buyers in line, but you don't have to compete. If you're house hunting this year or next, this is a city to definitely keep on your radar. Now, if you're looking for more space, more privacy, and a little bit of that country feel without being, again, way out in the middle of nowhere, Corcoran absolutely needs to be on your radar and a list of places to consider. It's tucked just west of Maple Grove and Plymouth, and what makes it so unique is that it still feels rural and peaceful, but you're only 10 to 20 minutes from Arbor Lakes or the shops at Ridgedale in Minnetonka. That means all the shopping, restaurants, gyms, and coffee spots are still super accessible, but when you come home, it's quiet, wide open, and incredibly scenic. Country roads and less hustle and bustle. You'll find rolling hills, wooded areas, and even homes on acreage, which is getting harder and harder to find this close to the core metro. It's the kind of place where you can sip coffee on your back deck, watch deer wander by, and still make it to Costco within 20 minutes. But Corcoran's not just farmland anymore. Over the past few years, we've seen new neighborhoods springing up with builders offering everything from modern single-family homes to villa-style townhomes designed for downsizers who still want space. It's this perfect blend of rural charm and modern convenience. Same thing as Dayton here. Most of the builders you will find are the well-recognized large builders like Lennar, Pulte, M.I. Homes. Schools in Corcoran can be confusing as well. There's actually 4 districts that serve it, so boundary lines, again, are very important to pay attention to. Maple Grove, Wayzata, Rockford, and Delano school districts are the ones who typically serve Corcoran. We've talked about Maple Grove and Wayzata before and their rankings, but as a reminder, Wayzata is number 1 in the state for public high school, and Maple Grove is number 18 according to niche.com. But now, when we look at Delano and Rockford school districts, Delano Senior High currently holds the number number 2 spot for best public high school in Wright County, just behind St. Michael Albertville. And it's ranked number 33 in the state, and it has an overall niche.com ranking of a B+. Rockford High School is ranked as the number 87th in the state with an overall rating of a B+ as well. Now, when talking to many locals in the area, and I have close friends who actually grew up in and around the Delano area, they all tell me that Delano is the preferred school district over Rockford, but that's just what they tell me. No matter where you end up in Corcoran, the community has that close-knit, small-town energy. Think city-sponsored movie nights, local farmers markets, and neighbors who actually know each other's names. Bottom line, if you want elbow room, newer homes, and peaceful surroundings, but you're not ready to go full outstate and into the boonies per se, Corcoran gives you that middle ground. It's still close, still convenient, and still a hidden gem for now. St. Louis Park is next, and this is one of those suburbs that quietly delivers way more than people expect, if you know where to look. A lot of people either lump it in with Uptown or they skip over it completely on their way to places like Minnetonka or Edina. But here's the truth. St. Louis Park deserves way more credit. You are literally minutes from downtown Minneapolis, but it still feels residential and neighborly. Tree-lined streets, parks on nearly every corner, and just enough buzz to feel alive without feeling chaotic. Whether you're commuting downtown or heading west toward the lakes, location-wise, it's really tough to beat and why it deserves tons of attention. But it's not just about convenience. The lifestyle here is dialed in. St. Louis Park has a great mix of local breweries, distilleries, restaurants, and independent shops, plus big box conveniences nearby when you need them. West End in the Blackstone neighborhood is a hub for shopping, dining, and entertainment, while other neighborhoods like Texatonka and Browndale are full of charm and personality. You've also got access to the Cedar Lake Regional Trails around Cedar Lake, just west of the Lake of the Isles, which makes it easy to bike, run, or just get outside without driving way out to the suburbs. You're already there. Yes, the homes are older here in St. Louis Park, mostly built in the 1940s and 50s, but that's part of the charm of living in St. Louis Park. Think hardwood floors, coved ceilings, and original built-ins. And many of these homes have been beautifully updated with quartz or granite countertops, modern kitchens, finished basements, and open living spaces while keeping that character that people love. You're definitely not getting cookie cutter here, that's for sure. It's also one of the few places where young professionals, growing families, and even downsizers kind of just naturally mix. It has that balance of energy and maturity that makes a community feel well-rounded, and for real estate here, it holds its value. The location, demand, tight inventory, it all contributes to solid long-term appreciation. If I was buying a home in St. Louis Park, I wouldn't be concerned of a downturn one bit. SLP would be one of the last places to ever see a drop in value if we did see a downturn in the market. If you're curious about schools, St. Louis Park Senior High is ranked as number 82 in the state and number 16 in Hennepin County and has an overall rating of a B+ on niche.com. The one thing to note from the locals I talked to is St. Louis Park is in need of a local coffee shop. That's one thing it's kind of lacking. No small hole-in-the-wall or local coffee shop that's not a franchise type like Starbucks or Caribou currently really exists in SLP, but I'm sure one will come soon enough. You do have Hope Breakfast Bar and Good Day Cafes, and they are super popular spots for coffee, but they're not really like a true coffee shop. They're more of a breakfast spot that obviously has coffee. So if you're watching this and you're wanting to open a coffee shop, St. Louis Park might be the spot to do it. If you're looking for a place that's close to the action but still feels like home, St. Louis Park might be one of the best kept secrets in the metro, and I would highly recommend checking it out. If you're currently watching this and thinking, I hadn't even considered some of these spots, that's the point. These underrated suburbs might just be the hidden gem you are looking for. And if you want help figuring out which area best fits your goals, reach out. I'd love to help you find the right home in the right community. Shoot me a text message, drop me an email, or schedule a call at the link below. I'd be honored to be your realtor. I specialize in helping people make a move to the suburbs, and our team is one of the top teams in the state. But if you're not ready to reach out but want to really stay in the loop on what's happening in the suburbs, check out my bi-weekly newsletter, the BURBS Report. I cover everything from new developments and real estate trends to upcoming events, restaurant openings, and hidden gems around the Minneapolis suburbs. It's a great way to stay connected and in the know, even if you're just starting to think about your next move. The link to get access to that is down below. Lastly, if you could drop a like and hit that subscribe button, I would really appreciate it as we continue to grow the channel and dive more and more into what makes living in the Minneapolis suburbs the best place to be. Back to the video. We've been focusing more on the north and central suburbs, but now we're gonna head south to Chaska. Chaska is one of those suburbs that just flies again under the radar, but it really shouldn't. A lot of people skip right past it in favor of Chanhassen or Eden Prairie. But if you're looking for a mix of value, charm, and growth potential, Chaska is absolutely worth a closer look. I mean, right now, the city is investing heavily into its future. There's a major downtown redevelopment project underway. We're talking a $50 million plan that includes an indoor year-round farmers market, new public plazas, underground parking, and commercial spaces, and over 100 new apartments as well, with a portion dedicated to affordable housing. It's all designed to make downtown Chaska more walkable, vibrant, and community-focused while still preserving its historic small-town feel that it naturally has had in the past. From a real estate standpoint, home prices are still very reasonable, especially when compared to neighboring suburbs like Chanhassen or Eden Prairie. You can find move-in ready homes in the $350,000 to $500,000 range, whether it's a newer build in one of the master planned neighborhoods or a charming older home closer to downtown. It's a great option for buyers who want space and amenities without stretching into the upper 600,000s or beyond. And then there's lifestyle in Chaska. Miles of trails right along the Minnesota River and well-kept parks like Clay Hole Beach, plus multiple highly ranked golf courses, including Chaska Town Course and Hazeltine National, which hosted the Ryder Cup in 2016 and plans to hold it again in 2029. The food scene is growing too, with newer additions like the Crooked Pint Ale House that is actually attached to the Chaska Curling Center. And let me tell you, this is a blast. You can learn how to curl or enjoy curling leagues and then head right on over for some food and drinks. It's a place that you will love. Massive windows inside the restaurant actually allow you to watch others curl while you enjoy your lunch or dinner. Schools are another huge win in Chaska. Chaska is part of the Eastern Carver County School District, with Chaska High School earning an A- rating on niche.com, number 30 in the state, and number 2 in Carver County, just behind Chanhassen High School. Bottom line for Chaska, if you're looking for a suburb with charm and growth potential, Chaska is one of the best kept secrets in the South Metro. It's evolving fast, but still affordable, still approachable, and definitely worth paying attention to. We're gonna completely shift gears now for a second and mix in an underrated St. Paul suburb, Shoreview. If you're looking on the east side of the metro and want that perfect blend of strong schools, green space, and community feel, Shoreview is one of the most underrated suburbs in the St. Paul area right now. It's nestled just north of Roseville and east of Arden Hills. And while it doesn't always get the spotlight, it does check a lot of boxes, especially for families and buyers who want a quieter, more established neighborhood vibe without sacrificing convenience, as it's currently ranked as the #1 place in Ramsey County to raise a family, according to niche.com. One of the biggest draws here is the school district. Shoreview is part of the Moundsview Public High School system, and it's home to Moundsview High School, which is consistently ranked among the top 10 public high schools in Minnesota, currently sitting at number 9 on niche.com. That kind of academic reputation adds long-term value and attracts families who want to put down roots in a place they can feel confident about. When it comes to housing, most of what you'll find are well-maintained homes built in the 1980s and late 90s. Think mature trees, large yards, and homes with functional layouts that offer good bones and room to grow. There are also newer townhome developments and some mid-century homes closer to the southern edge, so you do have variety in the suburb. And the location? It's incredibly central. You're about 20 minutes from both, yes, both, downtown Minneapolis and St. Paul, making it perfect for dual city commuters. Plus, Shoreview has access to tons of parks, lakes, and walking trails with Turtle Lake, Island Lake, and Snail Lake offering fishing, paddling, and beach access. Just minutes, again, from your front door. Shoreview flies under the radar, but it offers top-tier schools, natural beauty, solid homes, and a hard-to-beat location for those who like exploring both downtown Minneapolis and St. Paul, all at a price point that's still more approachable than trendier West Metro and East Metro suburbs such as North Oaks. If you're house hunting on the east side, this is definitely one to have on your list. This next one is for the buyers who want proximity to St. Paul, but with a more refined luxury feel. Mendota Heights is one of the Metro's most understated high-end suburbs, and for whatever reason, it doesn't get the same buzz as nearby Eagan or Woodbury suburbs. But once you drive through, it's super easy to see why people who know about it love it. What sets Mendota Heights apart is its quiet elegance. The neighborhoods are super mature and well kept, with again, tree-lined streets, custom-built homes, and large lots, some tucked into private cul-de-sacs or wooded hillsides. Many homes here were built from the 1960s all the way through the early 2000s, and there's a good mix of classical architecture and newer high-end builds, often with spacious layouts, multi-car garages, and thoughtful design details you just don't always get in newer developments. It feels established, timeless, and intentional, not cookie cutter at all. And because there's not constant turnover or massive development here, it holds on to that peaceful residential charm that's getting harder to find closer to the core cities. Location-wise, again, it's a dream. You're just 10 to 15 minutes from downtown St. Paul, 15 to 20 minutes from the airport, and even Minneapolis is very accessible thanks to the close connection to Highway 62 and I-35W. For professionals, frequent flyers, or anyone wanting an easier commute without urban congestion, Mendota Heights quietly nails the convenience factor for it all. Currently ranked as the #2 spot for best places to retire in Minnesota on niche.com, that tells you everything that you need to know about it. It's quiet and perfectly positioned in the metro. It's also consistently ranked as one of the top suburbs to live in. It currently holds the #8 spot on niche.com. If schools are on your mind, which for most people they are, Mendota has you covered here as well. Two Rivers High School, formerly called Henry Sibley High School, is the main public high school serving the area with an overall ranking of an A- on niche.com and #38 in the state. But I think it's worth noting here that in addition to Two Rivers High School, St. Thomas Academy, which many people have heard of, is a popular private high school in Mendota Heights and is ranked as the #1 best private high school in Tacoma County and #10 in the state. It's an all-boys school with Visitation High School as its all-girls partner school. I do have some friends that have went to St. Thomas Academy and they all talk phenomenal things about it. They always have good academics and they always have strong sports teams as well. Mendota can be a great fit for move-up buyers, those who maybe started in St. Paul, South Minneapolis, or even a townhome in Eagan and now want more space, more privacy, and more long-term value. The lots are bigger, the homes have character, and the community is tight-knit without feeling overbuilt. I actually have some personal friends that I'm currently helping who have a townhome in Inver Grove Heights, are gonna be getting married soon, and then they'll be upsizing into their long-term family home in Mendota. Right after their wedding is when our search will start, and I'm super pumped for them. So if you're looking for a suburb with kind of a luxury touch and easy access to both cities, but without that constant buzz, Mendota Heights is one of the best kept East Metro secrets. Thanks for hanging out with me today. These are just a few of the suburbs that people overlook but absolutely shouldn't. Make sure to subscribe for more Minneapolis suburbs content. And again, if you're curious to know what it's really like to live in one of the most popular suburbs right now, Maple Grove, check out my most recent deep dive where I actually go to the streets and houses of the city to dive into what one can expect if they choose to live there. More of these are in the works, so again, stay tuned and we will see you guys in the next video.